Hello everyone and welcome to my second YouTube video. Today I want to talk about my favorite, more unconventional items that I would consider essential for my painting practice. So I'm not talking paint or brushes or palettes or anything. I am strictly talking about the random items you wouldn't necessarily think of off the bat that you would need for painting, but I have found are really useful. The first item is this kind of funky contraption. It is called a tube wringer, and it just works by you take the paint tube, put it on the end. Oh, it's kind of hard to use. And you twist it, and it moves all of your paint from the bottom of the tube to the top of the tube. It's so that you don't waste paint, and you guys know how expensive paint is, so this is kind of a lifesaver, saves tons of money. I actually can't believe it took me so long to get one of these, but it's super worth it, so definitely consider this essential. Number two is a magic eraser. I am notoriously a very messy painter, and my desk gets super dirty and I'll just have like paint smears all over it and everything. So a magic eraser has come in really handy to wipe down my desk, because sometimes the paint will start to dry or kind of get in the cracks. Now, mind you, I have a Lifetime table that I paint on, so it's plastic surface. So using this works really well to scrub the paint off. I don't know if I would recommend it for like a wooden table. Glass would be fine. I actually also use this on my glass palettes after I scrape it with a scraper blade. Sometimes there's some residue, and this takes it right off. It actually, it's amazing. The third item is Dawn dish soap, or the off-brand equivalent. I just get the Kroger one. I try to avoid toxins as much as I can in my painting practice. That's not always possible. I still really kind of have to use solvents to like cut the grease when I'm cleaning out my brushes. I've kind of found a good system by taking my brushes and the solvent outside so that I have clean air to breathe, and just kind of switching around in my brush cleaner cup container, I don't know what you call it, and that just kind of cuts the fat so that when I bring them back into my home, I can wipe them off really good with a paper towel, get off as much of that solvent as I can, and switch the brush in my hand with the Dawn dish soap, and it just kind of gets out the remaining residues, gets my brushes like really clean, which I'm just kind of anal about, but you know, for other people, maybe they just do solvents. Maybe this is an unnecessary step, but I really like it. It's essential to me. My third item is actually technically maybe one of the more standard things. It's my painting service. However, I don't think many people know about this. It's ABS board, technically a plastic, which I do try and reduce the amount of plastic I use in my business as much as I can, because I do want to be environmentally sustainable. However, I would say this is totally worth it for a number of reasons. The first is it is kind of indestructible. Like you could paint a painting on this, toss it around the parking lot like a frisbee, and it honestly would probably be totally fine. Like, it is super durable. It's not a wood-based product, so it's not going to get warped from moisture, which is really nice. I know we gesso over things like MDF board, but I have had issues in the past with things still slightly warping from the moisture. So I think this is just a really great durable surface. Also, the MDF boards are kind of using harsh chemicals anyways, which is also not great for the environment.
So personally, I prefer to use the one that's more durable.
The other nice thing about this is you don't have to gesso it. Super nice. You just sand the surface with like a 220 grit sandpaper, and it becomes velvety smooth. It is actually a delight to paint on. It works really well for portraits, when you want kind of just like really refined features and like just beautiful blends. This works really well because the surface is just so smooth and velvety. And also because ABS isn't absorbent, your colors aren't going to sink as much, if you know what I'm talking about. Dark colors in oil paints can sink really bad. I don't get that. Sometimes you get uneven gloss depending on how much oil you use, which I guess is maybe the same thing. But it happens a lot less with ABS because there's no actual material for the oil paint to like sink into. So I find this stuff super worth painting on. It's also nice because you can just kind of score it with a blade and then break it in half, at least on the thinner ones. For the thicker ones, you can use a saw blade on, like a table saw. You can just, but you can get these on Amazon, and that's what I do for the smaller sizes. There is also a shop local to me that sells them in bigger sizes if I ever paint larger pieces, but I'll put all of the links to all these items below in the description if you want to check them out. My last item is this EcoSolve from Natural Earth Paint. Going back to cleaning brushes and trying to be toxin free, I found this brand that sells a non-toxic, 100% vegan, made in USA
solvent.
I wouldn't say that this is a perfect one-for-one replacement for traditional solvent like a Gamsol, but it does do the job of cleaning brushes really well. I personally don't use it as a medium. After testing it out and trying it, did not work for that. I'm actually going to do a in-depth review on this product for my next video. So if you are interested in learning more about this and what I think about it, be sure to subscribe and see the video next week. So that is the conclusion of this video. These are the top 5 most non-painting painting items that I use in my practice, and hopefully there was something in there that was helpful to you. If you oil paint, try this stuff. It's really awesome. That's it. Bye! This is so awkward. I don't know how to film. Put a little dripper in my hand. I don't know how to dance. Will come out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Oh, I dropped it.